I should be back. F5, F5, F5. Hello. I don't know if you're resisting to this stream with all these Fs. I fucking love you so much. I really, really do. I really love you. I'm sorry. I don't know. Later tonight, I'm gonna be planning an entire computer for scratch, so it should be extremely okay. Tomorrow morning, I'll wake up. As soon as I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll be right here. I'll do my breakfast. I'll be right here. I'll do everything here with you in the morning, so we try everything out, and we're gonna be watching videos again. All right. Moving on. Now they have to vote on who is going to be getting him. I think that everyone is gonna vote for themselves, apart from one person that is gonna vote for someone else, and that someone else is gonna win. Before 11 a.m. It's gonna be early morning one. Dumblex, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Prime. That Prime money is gonna go directly into the tip jar for a better computer and less crashes. You're gonna talk it out? I think so. Let's see.
I have an opinion. I think you. Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
between Regine
and
I'm so sorry. Brianna. Yes, it's between like out of you two.
Yeah.
Thanks, MSI.
I feel like you guys got along really well. Yeah. Your little conversation was so cute.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'd sing a song. Brianna, oh yeah. To be sure, to be actually, okay, listen, I think that Brianna would be a cool match, but I think that Brianna would like to go for someone a little bit more, like with a bold personality, and I feel that Melvin is a little bit shy. So I think that Regine and Melvin will go, but like it's a better fit. I like Brianna more, but I think that Brianna can like need someone else, right? Still. You agree, right?
We have selected someone for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you trust these women?
I do.
Are you sure?
With my life.
Bro, wait. You just met them. How can you trust them with your life? That's a little bit too much. With my life. Sure.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you
oh my
surprised?
God. No.
Were you expecting that? Or was it a close call?
I was kind of hoping for it.
You were?
I'm
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you guys.
Liar. Hi, Dexter. Liar. I was kind of hoping for that. Yeah, imagine. That's because that's not a reviewed sentence that you said in your brain.
This did really good. Okay, so after the first round, I had Estelle, Regine, and Brianna.
Oh, he wrote them down. Oh, he wrote them down. Oh, he did actually wrote them down. Oh, no. He did actually wrote them down. Oh, so it's not scamming. It's not scamming.
Hey!
What are the odds?
That would have been awkward.
We can go through.
Yeah, that would have been so fucking awkward. Imagine if he wrote like Regine. Oh my god.
No.
We can. And you got to get me into USC.
Thanks.
Can you settle on a name for the bear?
You get to name it since you won.
Brianna.
I'll go with that. That's a good name.
All right, do you think we're going to do like a number exchange?
Definitely.
Yeah,
We're going
let's do it.
thrifting.
Here you go.
Cute. All right, guys. That's a wrap.
They're nice. They're nice. They're nice. I like them. I like them. I think that they're not gonna have like a long relationship, but I like them. I like them. Oh, I see another juicy video. What do you think about this one? Mom swipes 20 girls for her son. 2 months maximum, yeah. What do you mean we're not done? We're not done? We're not done. I would like if they had like Anyway, let's go for this one. Hi, Rising. The video was done. I don't like to end the videos.
So how are we feeling today?
Excited. I'm like kind of nervous
my
for
God.
some reason.
What if we did this kind of format with the streamers that are single right now? And like with their mom or dads? It would be so cool. Would we know? Why not? I think that it would be fun. I think that would be fun. No, I'll be the organizer. Why? Why don't you? I would have it. I would have think that that would be fun. It would be so cringe, yes. But you would see their parents and that would be fun. No, I would not be the contestant. Is everything okay with Ank? Why are you asking, Damko? All of her insecurities on the girls, less, I know. My dad or my mom? I don't know if my dad would like it. Maybe, I think so, actually. I think that my dad would like this kind of attention.
First, I'm not, but now
She's not.
he make me.
My name's Brian. I'm 25. I'm a photographer and videographer here in LA. This is my beautiful mom.
Wasn't he in
I'm
another
Cindy.
video?
I'm nail salon owner.
Oh,
I'm very
I miss
happy to
coming to
come
the live
today
too.
for the show.
Yeah,
And
she is,
hopefully I
yeah.
picked one, make Brian happy.
Mom, what are you going to be looking for today in the girls?
Kind, first, and very nice, and being positive
Kind,
in
very
life.
nice.
Beautiful, come in and out.
I think I trust her, yeah.
See you later, Lorenzo. Floyd wants to get out. Wait, let me open the door. Oh! Oh, you also swiped on them. Go out, Floyd. Go. So this is like the first part where she doesn't talk. Okay, we like her. We like her. She has a nice smile. A nice smile. Nice smile.
It's really so pretty.
My mom
Oh,
kind
it's
of
more
swipes
angry.
right on everyone. I don't think she's ever even heard of a dating app. So she's like, everyone's so nice. Keep going.
Yeah.
That was really fun to watch.
She's so happy. Look at the mom. Mama's having so much fun. Okay, nothing. I was going to say something. She sold.
Mom, you kept a lot of people.
I love them all.
Hi, Summers.
But only one, I have
Maybe.
to pick the final.
Yeah, good luck.
You wash your beer can? Yeah, for the
Alright,
girls it's
ready?
horrible.
Let's do like this.
Okay.
Mom, left or right?
I'm going like cute. So like
Cute.
face me,
Okay.
just touch me, or can we touch?
Can we touch? Sure. All right, so cute.
My heart's pounding.
Awesome.
That was cute!
Like a side hug thing.
Side hug?
And then
Like hover hands?
Yeah, like that.
We're at an event. We're just like, oh, camera.
Oh, camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I found that
So I was
cringe.
wondering if I could actually Titanic you. Just got her arms back a little bit.
She's fun! Oh, yeah, please.
So I'm like short, so would you be down to do a piggyback?
Sure. Yeah.
A bit too much for the first time. The first time, touch too much your kid. Now that she's pregnant.
Like a dinner and then choosing.
Okay.
Cheers.
Ah, that's cute.
Are we going to like fill the flow? 1, 2.
No, I don't like her.
Exactly. There we go.
Oh, that's cute. No, that was fun!
So I kind of figured we would just skip ahead a little bit.
Okay.
Could you get down on one knee?
The mom doesn't like it. Mom is like, that's my baby. That's my baby. Oh, she likes it?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Like this.
Oh, that's cute.
Maybe we could do something to look like sidekicks.
You'd be like the hero.
Okay.
I'll be the sidekick.
Okay.
All right.
That's cute. That's cute.
Good job, Mom.
Okay.
I tried my best.
Hi. I'm Charlotte.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Kirsten. I'm super nervous.
She's friendly. It's okay.
How are you
She's
doing?
friendly, they can talk. Go ahead.
Tell me a little bit about you.
So my name
Like
is Ksenia. I'm originally from Russia.
It feels like a job interview. It's like a job interview. Like, tell me something about you. So, I'm Julia. I was born in Italy. I studied in my hometown, and that's the major that I.
But I moved to Austria and now I'm here, so I've been moving a lot. I'm originally from Washington State, so I love the outdoors.
I go to Cal State Fullerton. I'm studying mechanical engineering with an art minor. I made these shoes.
Mechanical engineer with an art minor? That's so interesting.
These are custom shoes. Wow. It's like my frat because I'm in an engineering fraternity.
Yeah.
I am also the president of the fashion club at my school.
That's really cool.
And then I'm very athletic and I like working out and like going on
I can
adventures.
tell.
Thanks.
I'm a creative person, so I love painting, I love art, drawing, playing guitar, and I love sports too.
What kind of sport do you like?
Basketball.
Yes.
Mhm. Who's your team?
Ooh, that's a tough one right now.
There's only one right answer.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's your hometown?
Oh, my hometown, San Jose. I don't know. Are you Vietnamese?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of Vietnamese people there.
I have relatives live in San Jose.
Oh
I
yeah.
went
It's really nice. It's
What is that?
similar
I
to
don't like-
Phuoc Tho.
I feel like his mom is exactly like the husband's mom that you're gonna hate. Like, oh my god.
Oh, you're Vietnamese.
The one is not. It's not mean, but she will tell you mean things. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. I love music and music festivals and concerts.
What was your last concert?
I just went to Coachella actually.
I was there too.
Awesome. Weekend 1, weekend 2.
Both.
You went both weekends?
I had to work there, so I was there.
What you plan for after you're done school and
You
go
work
to-
there. That's nice. That's really nice. Floyd, do you want to come in my room? You could have asked. All right. Oh, what did I press? Something wrong? No, it's okay.
do the design.
When I graduate, I plan on doing like engineering, like solar panels and stuff. After I get enough experience with that, I'll just start designing my own products and then I'll have like a
She has her shit figured out. I like this
clothing
girl.
line on the side too. So
Busy.
stuff like that. Yeah.
A lot going on.
Entrepreneur stuff.
Yeah.
I like this girl.
Business-minded. Any relationship you have before in the past?
I've had 2 like serious relationships. One actually was with a woman, and
How will the mom
I
react to
broke
this?
up with her a little while ago. We were just both not mentally stable to be taking care of each other in relationships, so we're both
will the
better
mom-
now.
Oh my god, the mom is gonna destroy this poor girl.
Oh my god.
Are you uncomfortable?
No.
No, I'm not.
No.
Waiting for her to ask something.
No, very nice to tell me about that. Honest to tell you.
Yeah,
What's your
yeah.
past? Yeah, I like.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to be honest.
That's good.
Yeah.
Are you ready to date?
Oh no, thank you. Very honest to tell me something that will definitely disqualify you.
Who?
I report.
In like not okay. In general. Yeah, that was like that sounded crazy.
Bro, you
Not
don't
like
sit. You don't sit like this when you're meeting with the mom. You have. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, if someone is, you know, if someone worthy enters the scenario, which they haven't, but we'll see.
Thank you.
Girl, she's definitely high, right? She looks high. She definitely looked high. Very much.
Keep this side.
Yeah, keep us this way.
Oh.
Oh wait.
The picture.
Oh, you liked her?
Yeah. Wait, keep this side.
Yeah, keep us this way.
Oh.
Oh, she fucked up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, she meant to swipe right.
I forgot again. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right?
Right. Right.
Okay.
She's liking everyone. She's liking everyone.
Nice meeting you guys.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah.
Wait, isn't this? I recognize the shoes of this girl. She's the one in the other game. She's the one in the other game.
Nice meeting you guys.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah.
Brian, are you okay?
It was alright.
I feel like the mom hates definitely someone. She definitely doesn't like someone, but also she doesn't want to say that she doesn't like them. So she would rather go when she doesn't have them in front of their face, I think.
So, Mom, is there anything you want to say to the girls before we pick?
So you are all so beautiful, and if I don't choose other, that means I don't like you. I still like you a lot, but I cannot get. Oh, this time my heart is pounding. I'm still
See?
yeah.
She knows already.
How was it?
She's just thinking, how will I tell them?
I'm curious.
I picked this one because she.
You want to see them all?
Yeah. I'm still.
Who would you go for, chat? I think that she, like, from a program point of view, right? We haven't seen much of her. We haven't seen much of her. We haven't seen much of her. We haven't seen much of her and of her. So I think that it's going to be either her. No, maybe not. I think that she's going to choose her, right? I think that she's going to... Right? I don't think she's gonna go for her. Or maybe because she's very business. Maybe she's gonna go for the first one, right? Either the first one or the second one. Or maybe the last one. No, not the last one. I think that she realized that she was stoned. Yeah. Is she Fabiola? Is her name Fabiola? Or Fabna? How you call her? Engineering girl, I think that it's she's gonna...
Yeah.
Fabiola? Okay.
How was it?
Good.
I'm curious.
I picked this one because she business-minded,
I love
creating
that.
orders,
Yeah.
Orders to me, what, and then about fashion.
Okay,
we
that's
love
the first
fashion,
one.
right?
Yeah.
That's why.
He knows already.
If she had a daughter, she would take her shopping nonstop because she loves fashion. So,
Yeah. Got it, yeah.
Fabiola? Coming in? Definitely.
Hi.
We knew it.
What's your name?
We knew it.
Fabiola. Okay.
Were you surprised?
I had no idea, so it's like this is awesome. Great pick. Yeah, for sure.
Do you like?
Great pick.
The face of someone that thinks it's a good pick. The face, like if we could add like a, okay, under it would be the face of a great pick. They would be a perfect basketball duo, by the way. Perfect basketball duo, for sure. She's very tall.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like it? Do you like?
I think I picked the one I like more than he likes.
The mom!
I'm sorry, my son, but I have to.
Oh my god.
And he didn't, it doesn't say no. How to make things awkward for the very first moment.
She said fashion and business, and I saw my mom lit up. But she's great. She seems really cool.
Is she who you would have selected?
No. Say
Probably
it.
not, but I'm open to anything. She's super creative. I'm super creative too. Love to chat, see where it goes. So.
He was
I'm super
hoping to
creative, too.
go
Love
back
chat,
home.
see where it goes. So.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This guy, he had one chance to do this format and to find love, and he got the chance destroyed. Destroyed. He can never do like another episode saying like, oh, because the Jubilee is never gonna allow them, right? Because if they do that, then it means that they haven't found the love. I would love to do this thing on Twitch. I think that would be so fucking funny. It would be so funny. Oh shit, there is a bad ones. Blind dating 6 girls based on pads? Blind dating 6 girls based on their pads? Yeah, not kinda Speed Day. I wanna see this.
Of course, Kylo Elms, 21 years old. One of the 2 dogs I own is Blondie here. Blondie is an Akita Shepherd. She's pretty much got the body of a Shepherd and then the face of an Akita. So I work at this place called Dog People down in Santa Monica. Working with dogs, I've like definitely seeing how dogs act and how owners act. Honestly, I think you can learn possibly their
You don't like this one with the pads? You don't like the one with the pads?
whole personality from a pet.
No! Why? You don't like it? Alright, alright. You're hating each one? I found them funny. Oversaturated? Alright. Alright, it's fine. Alright, Floyd! It's barking. Let's go. Go out. Go out. Go, go, go. Chat, I have a proposal for you. I have a proposal for you. Pet is right here. Is she still here? She's still. Right here. I woke up the beast. Come here, beast. No, don't leave me. Okay, you can go out. I stepped on my... I stepped on the headset. Okay, so yeah, you can suggest me Lord of the Rings, the second movie in 1 hour. True, we have Lord of the Rings in 1 hour. Let me see the what was it? I called it cool. How did I call it? Cool stuff to watch. The form. There we go. I don't know if someone saw. We have 5 responses to that one. I wanted to do this like offline, but we can watch a couple of videos that you suggest if you put them in the form. I don't know if a mod made the... Oh, I fucked it up. Oh, okay. 10 hours of Rick Rolls. I should have known. Another one, it says Rick Atsley. Okay, I'm not gonna open that one. This one says videos. Okay, let's see this one. I swear, chat. We don't have a command for it. Send. I think that, yeah, maybe it would be better if it was on Discord, right? I'm gonna put it on Discord in general. Wait, yeah. I keep sending notification to people on Discord every time that I go off. Just letting you know, chat. Next time that the stream goes down, I will call it a day. Okay? Oh, that's... So then I have time to... No, just for now, it's in general. Then I'll put in the links and stuff. Someone, Suresh, do you know them? Looks like a cool YouTube channel. Is there a video that you like? Pick yourself. How many minutes? 10 minutes. I like this one. Let's see. You believe that people looks like their pets? Yes, I think so. You proposed it, Rico? It looks cool.
So at the end of last year, I was given the incredible opportunity to work alongside some of the people at Apple to develop and run a Today at Apple session. And it was a really surreal experience for me.
What is a Today at Apple session? What is that? Do you know? The proposal for it's fine. The proposal was like when the stream crashes again, we're gonna close the stream.
Now, for those of you who don't know what a Today at Apple session is,
thank you.
It's basically a free learning experience Apple creates for people who already own Apple products to help them get the best out of their products. So for example, they might curate a photography session that's designed on helping you learn to use the cameras on your iPhone better. And I think each session goes for around an hour and a bit, and it's made up of 3 sections. So there's an inspirational segment where they show you great work from a photographer or something, and then show you his philosophy behind it. Then there's a participation section where you can make something using your Apple product, and finally they celebrate people's work at the very end. And so this whole thing can happen in Apple stores or online, and I think it's a pretty cool concept. And at the end of last year, they reached out to me because they wanted to partner and collaborate with me to develop a bit of an inspirational bit for the inspirational segment for a session on taking notes with the iPad. And I remember getting this opportunity and my eyes lit up and I thought, oh my goodness, yes please, I would love to be a part of this. When can we get started? And so we worked together and I contributed a bit to the inspirational segment of a global Today at Apple session called Transform Your Lecture Notes on iPad. It's a session that I don't personally run, it's run by Apple creatives around the world, but it does feature some of my notes and my philosophy towards learning that I've talked about on this channel. And if I'm thinking correctly, I do think that session will run a couple more times in the upcoming years. Now, separate to that global Today at Apple session, which I do not run, I got the opportunity to run a one-off Today at Apple session at the local Sydney Apple store, where I got to shape what the session would look like. And so I worked with some of the Apple creatives in Sydney, Australia, and we worked together developing a vision, bit of a presentation, and I showed up on the day and I basically got the chance to give the story that I've been telling on my channel for the past couple of years, of owning your learning to a wider audience on an even more bigger platform. And it was a very new experience for me, and I was so grateful for that opportunity to tell my story to a new group of people on a wider platform, as I said. And I remember sharing the announcement post of me running this session, and I think it was in January this year, and I posted it on my social media, and I got an incredibly overwhelming positive response.
Is Aussie?
People
I like
telling
the
me
accent.
how happy they were for me, how incredible an opportunity they thought this was, and how I should be proud of myself because Apple picked me. And I remember in that whole experience feeling really good about myself, you know, to get my work recognized in that sort of a way. That for the first time, I didn't feel like a complete imposter. Because there's always this voice in the back of my head saying, who are you, Samuel?
I would feel such an imposter syndrome if they asked me to do that. I'd be like,
Who are you to say anything that anyone would want to listen to?
Exactly.
And when you get an opportunity like this, it's kind of like that thing you dream about, where, you know, someone has given you a big opportunity. You know, someone has chosen me, they believe in me, and they've given me permission to do my thing. And it feels really good. And that kind of summed up my experience at Apple. I was surrounded by really supportive people who gave me the help that I needed. Never was I stressed, never was I overwhelmed. And I even got to the end of the process and thought, you know, that was great. I really hope I get the chance to work with these people again. And yet the crazy thing is, that whole time, and in the 7 months leading up to it, I hadn't posted a single video on this channel. And it wasn't because I didn't want to post. I even made videos talking about how I want to make more videos. It's just that I got really busy. When I say I was busy doing important things, like doing good things, like, you know, doing my university work, assignments, exams, studying. And outside of that, I was getting a plethora of opportunities of interesting projects to work on. I was helping out at my university where I have a job to help them make better curriculum. I was doing videography projects for clients who wanted me to make videos for them. I was helping other brands market their products. I worked with Student Edge at the beginning of this year to launch
I'm not
their note-taking
understanding.
challenge. And it sort of all came together at the very end with the opportunity of working with Apple, which up till that point was the biggest opportunity I've ever been given as a student. And you know what's great? You know, because when you're chosen to do a job, when someone looks at your resume or the work you've done in the past and says, you know, we think you're good enough, we want you, and we want you to do this, it feels really good. It feels safe. And I guess in the midst of all this, I kind of just let YouTube fall behind and neglected it. And I'll be honest, I didn't really feel too bad about myself because I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. You know, in fact, I felt like I was doing exactly what I needed to do. I was showing up to university as a student and doing my job. I was showing up to work and doing my job. I was working with Apple and I did my job. And one of the things that happened simultaneous to all of this was I think my parents realized how passionate and motivated I was doing all this work. And they'd come up to me very often and they'd remind me, you know, Samuel, you have an incredible opportunity here on your YouTube channel to do the very thing you're doing for other people. But you could impact more people on your YouTube channel. And it was something that every time they told me, I kind of dismissed it and played it off as, you know, it's just
because
YouTube.
I saw the title that was Pick Yourself and I was like, oh, that's cool, but
what I'm working on now is legitimate
it's
projects
okay to be selfish
with
sometimes.
employers and people tell me what to do. And I think the reason I'm drawn to that kind of a perspective is because as someone who's in his final year of university and is yet to work out the specific job description or career path he wants to follow, I think I just like to keep myself busy and occupied with assignments, projects, work, so that I don't really have to deal with that now, so that I can push back the decisions that need to be made to some other time. But what's really interesting was a couple weeks into this current semester of university that I'm in, and I think this was around the beginning of April, for the first time in like 10 months, I actually wasn't busy for once. I didn't have any assignments, didn't have any work projects. I had a lot of time to myself. And
Chad, I'm not enjoying it, but I want to see the end of the point. Like I want to see how they want to finish this, you know?
I found myself being in this really
yeah, it's like
weird
a humble
position
Brett Mascarena as motivation.
of not really doing anything.
Rico, I'm sorry,
Just
like I'm
wait.
sure he did other very cool videos. I'm just saying like this one, which is I picked randomly. I'm not enjoying it.
Waiting for something to happen. And I think I finally decided to
But you know what? It's actually okay sometimes to do this kind of videos. Like I think that he did this video mostly for himself. I think that he did this one mostly for himself. Even story time is more
some of the
interesting.
things my parents have been telling me.
Okay, I cannot finish it. I cannot finish it, to be honest. It's okay sometimes to do some videos for yourself, and I think that is the one. But I'd rather go like own your learning, how I learn and study, my process with the iPad. This could be really interesting. I really like the designs of his video, but it's not what I would like to go for today. Let's see what else is here. Please don't be a shitty video. Wait, let me put this one. Please don't be bannable. Please don't be bannable. Please don't be bannable.
2022. Sure, it's the age range on your divorced dad's Tinder, but it's also the year everything went back to normal. Kind of.
I've worked my absolute arse off to get where I am now.
Back in January, Boris Johnson was Prime Minister, COVID was rife, and YouTubers collabing with Speed was just something done at parties. At the beginning of the month, Molly May went from humping Fury to sparking it. As she stated, we all have the same 24 hours in a day to achieve stuff. So inspiring. Molly May smashes through the glass ceiling and then gets her assistant to sweep it up. Elsewhere, reports emerged that 2 parties were held at Downing Street during lockdown. One was even on the night before Prince Philip's funeral. That is so rotten, said The Undertaker. Thankfully, we managed to obtain some of the footage from the gathering.
Good boy! And that's why we call it Downing Street! Good husband.
Prime Minister, shouldn't we be isolating?
Nah, the only thing I'm trying...
Wait, is this the 2022 for UK people?
Lockdown is a piece of fanny. Oh, you'd have to help out, eh?
What about the guidelines?
Don't you worry. I've been guiding lads over house all night. How about a top up? Oh, yes, please.
Amen. Do you mind if we skip this one? It's just for English people. Like, it's their own shit. Like, if we were watching, like, an Italian one. And that's why no, I understood. Oh. What the fuck is this? Bro. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. Lindsay Ellis video essay on Disney in the modern era? What? I don't want to watch that.
Let's get ready for Dumbo!
Is it meant to be? Is it meant to be?
Twice. They do it twice.
Let's get ready for Dumbo!
In the last couple of decades, there's been this trend of family films being self-aware and
30
trope-savvy,
minutes?
as if to say, yes, parents in the room, we know that you have to endure this, but we also know that you are, in fact, smarter than your 5-year-old. You did it. And while this has been present in Disney films since, debatably, Aladdin, this kind of meta-commentary has slowly been shifting from the occasional throwaway gag,
It's a small
world after all.
No, anything but that.
to full-on important thematic statement. Enchanted is the real milestone here, and also represented a turning point for the studio in general. The entire premise of the film positing what would actually happen if a Disney princess were magically transported into the real world.
She's yours.
Don't sing. It's okay. You know, let's just walk.
Oh, I like this
See,
movie.
Patrick Dempsey's trying to get
This
his
is the
daughter...
movie where he goes, we're on this, we're on this, I'm scared, we're on this, I'm taking it scared. Anyway. Me crying to Disney songs alone in the car literally 5 minutes ago. We said no! Said no!
into, like, Ruth Bader
Thank you,
Ginsburg.
thank you.
A book?
He wants her to be a strong, independent woman. But then, hey, a literal Disney princess brings magic into their lives. So, hey, I guess the truth is somewhere in the middle. You can be a strong, independent woman who also buys Disney princess merch.
And today, we're going to be checking out some new toys in honor of Princess Jasmine.
It wasn't obvious at the time, but this was laying the groundwork for a much broader trend of Disney
Princess Song
acknowledging
is
that
awesome.
times have changed from the era of princesses
What a performance.
being
Thank you,
saved
thank
by
you.
princes, and it's cool that you want to go to law school, strong, independent woman, but please don't stop buying our stuff. Audiences really liked this meta aspect of Enchanted, and we saw similar elements in other films like Frozen.
You got engaged to someone you just met that day?
Yeah, anyway.
Moana.
If you wear a dress and you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess.
And more recently, Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph breaks the internet.
Were you poisoned? No. Cursed? No. Kidnapped or
Enslaved?
enslaved?
No. Are you guys okay? Should I call the police?
Soon we entered the era of the live-action remake slash
Listen, it was a TikTok, alright? Don't judge.
Sequel slash spin-off, beginning debatably with Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, starring...
Wait, was it? Were you enslaved, man? Na. I swear. Yes, so she is a princess. Please tell me that someone knows it. Please tell me that someone knows it. Come on, you know it. Please tell me you know it. Wait. Are you a princess? No, not quiz. Listen, I didn't search for that. Okay, that's not what. Don't look at that. That's not what. That's not my history. That's not. Are you a princess? TikTok. Come on. Are you a princess? Wreck-It. What is like Wreck-It Wreck-It Ralph? Is that how it's spelled? Brixie, she's a princess. This one. This is the full clip, I think.
Hi. Whoa, ladies, I can explain. See, I'm a princess too. Wait, what? Yeah, Princess Vanellope von Schweetz of the Sugar Rush von Schweetzes.
Astro! Astro, thank you so much for the 10 months. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for the prime. Welcome back. Hi, Astro. Hello. Welcome back. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're alright. We're watching stuff.
I'm sure you've heard of us, so it'd be embarrassing for you.
Yeah, so she was the very first mod, maybe the second mod ever. Like, she's the one that helped us out with so many things.
You haven't.
What kind of a princess are you?
What kind?
Do you have magic hair?
No.
Magic hands?
No.
Wait, why are the subtitles in Chinese? But why are you in Chinese? What? What? I'm confused. No
Who's
subtitles.
talked to you? No. Were you poisoned? No.
Cursed?
No.
Kidnapped or enslaved?
No. Are you guys okay? Should I call the police? Then I have to assume you made a deal with an underwater sea witch where she took your voice in exchange for a pair of human legs. No. Good lord.
Free feet.
Do that. Have you ever had true love's kiss? Ew, barf.
Do you have daddy issues?
I don't even have a mom.
Neither do we. And now for the $1 million question. Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big, strong man showed up?
Yes. What is up with that?
She is a princess. I told you. No. Stop with the Disney shit. Stop. I told you I knew it. I told you it was a TikTok.
Girl interrupted Alice, what wears armor, and a tortured, tragic Mad Hatter, and whatever this is. As far as this trend goes, Cinderella felt like a test run. It had no real interest in reinventing the wheel so much as it slides in on the whole knowing the prince before the ball / riding a horse equals empowerment shtick that Ever After did better, because by this point that was old hat. But on the flip side of the coin we have Maleficent, or as I like to call it, My Trash.
Wait, what?
Well. Maleficent is a remake, sort of, which works as meta-commentary by suggesting that the villain wasn't one-dimensional, but had sympathetic motivations. Very sympathetic motivations. Motivations which I think that only Angelina Jolie knew what she was doing.
It was
I
good!
get it. But really, the difference now, even from a